Hey everybody, this is Deep Track Zach. I am back today for another vinyl tag, and this is a good one. This is the Blues Vinyl Tag 2021, started by Chris over at BluesGuy Vinyl. And I really love the blues. I've got a fairly large collection, and it was fun to look through these questions and pick some albums to show for this tag. So I'm gonna get started. The first thing that Chris wanted us to show was an electric blues album, and I went with a early electric blues guy, and that would be Jimmy Reed, Rockin' with Reed. This is a 1963 album of his, released on VJ, and I just love the cover. You can't see his face there, but see a nice silhouette with that reddish orange background, him with his electric guitar. And here he is on the back, Rockin' with Reed. This has Going to New York, A String to Your Heart, Ins and Odds, Caress Me Baby, Take Out Some Insurance, The Moon is Rising, and what's some other ones? Let's see, Wanna Be Loved, Baby, What's on Your Mind, and the last song is the title track, Rockin' with Reed. But yeah, that's what this one stood out to me when I was looking for an electric blues album. There's it is on the beautiful old VJ label. That's Jimmy Reed, Rockin' with Reed, 1963. Okay, the next thing, an acoustic blues album. For acoustic, I went with good old Mississippi John Hurt. This is his studio album Today, which was recorded in 1966 after he was rediscovered and was playing, the folk festival circuit. Yeah, this was released on Vanguard, 1966. Here it is. I think he redoes some of his old songs from the 30s. I'm Satisfied, Candyman, Make Me a Pallet on the Floor, Karina Karina, Coffee Blues, Lewis Collins, Spike Driver's Blues, and Beulah Land. Yeah, they got him in the studio to... I'm not sure if this is his last album, but it was definitely one of his later ones before his death. That's my acoustic blues, Mississippi John Hurt, Today, 1966. All right, live blues. For this, I almost picked the Allman Brothers live at Fillmore East, but I've showed that in so many videos. That's one of my favorite albums and bands of all time. So I went with a different one, which is Albert King's Live Wire Blues Power. This was recorded 1968 at the Fillmore West in San Francisco. And this is just a scorcher of a live blues album by one of my favorite blues artists, Albert King. It's on Stax. He does Watermelon Man on this one, the Herbie Hancock tune, a 10-minute version of his song Blues Power, Night Stomp, Blues at Sunrise, 8.5 minutes. That's a good one. Please Love Me, and Look Out. Not that many songs because they're extended live jams. But that's my live blues album, Albert King, 1968. There he is, picking out a note on stage. All right, the next thing Chris wanted us to show is a double blues LP. For that one, I went with Muddy Waters, Fathers and Sons, 1969 on Chess. This is where Muddy got together with some of the British blues musicians and some other ones. But you had Muddy Waters, Otis Spann on piano, Mike Bloomfield from the Butterfield Blues Band, Paul Butterfield on harmonica, Donald Duck Dunn from Booker T and the MGs, he's on bass, Sam Lay on drums, and Buddy Miles also on drums. But there's some great songs on this, like All Aboard, Mean Disposition, Blow Wind Blow, Can't Lose What You Ain't Ever Had, 40 Days and 40 Nights, that's a really good one. I'm Ready, 24 Hours, that's a great tune also. And like I said, Muddy redoes some of his old songs, like Long Distance Call, Honeybee, Got My Mojo Working. Yeah, that's great double album where some of the old blues musicians got together with the new breed. Fathers and Sons, 1969. Okay. Now, my oldest blues record. For that one, I had to dig into my 78 collection, and this is actually my oldest record by a year, and it's Bessie Smith, Money Blues and Hard Driving Papa from 1926. It's kind of hard to read it. They printed the song title right there in the spindle, and it got worn off over the years, but it's old mother of the blues, Bessie Smith. I think that's Money Blues on that side, and this side has Hard Driving Papa. I don't even think you can see it. You can see it a little bit there. But 1926. This thing's closing in on 100 years old. It's unbelievable. That's my oldest blues record. Next thing, newest, most recent acquisition. That's an easy one because on Monday, on the way to a softball game, I stopped by a record store and just to see what they had. And he had this OG copy of John Lee Hooker, That's My Story. This is from 1960, and as you can see, the cover is just battered, but I could not pass it up. You don't ever see blues LPs this old out in the wild, hardly ever. But I've had it on a want list for a while, but I mean, they're way past $100 if you look for it on eBay or Discogs. But what's neat, the cover's kind of battered, but I pulled out the record. It looked a little scratchy, just a little bit, but this sucker sounds VG plus, except for in the real quiet passages. Sounds incredible for a how old, 60-year-old record, 61-year-old record. That's John Lee Hooker. I think they call it That's My Story, Sings the Blues. It's got kind of a double title, but on Riverside, 1960. That is my latest blues acquisition. Love it. John Lee Hooker. Okay. Now, Blues 45. This one kind of stood out to me. I was seeking this out for a while and finally found it. I think I found it on eBay 4 or 5 years ago for a good price, or I might have won the auction for a good price. But that is the original version of Texas Flood, the song that Stevie Ray Vaughan redid. This is by Larry Davis from 1958 on Duke Records. Texas Flood. It's flooding down in Texas. All the telephone lines are down. And the B-side is I Tried. Actually, I think that's the A-side, I Tried. And the B-side is actually Texas Flood. That's the standout track to me. Larry Davis, Texas Flood, 1958. That's going to be my Blues 45. Let's see, what's the next thing? Blues 10-inch. Okay, I dug into my 78s again for this. And this is a special one that I found at a garage sale years ago. Same garage sale where I found a Blind Willie McTell 78 record. And this is Texas Alexander's Section Gang Blues and Levy Camp Moan Blues. This is from 1927 on OK Records. Texas Alexander. Just some great old country Texas blues. Texas Alexander has a great vibrato sound to his voice. And it's rumored that he's the cousin of Lightning Hopkins. I'm not sure if that's been confirmed, but that's what they say. His real name's Alexander, Texas Alexander, he went by. And he recorded, I think, 15 or 20 78s back in the day. But I'm so glad and proud to have this one. Texas Alexander, 1927. That's my 10-inch. All right. Next thing Chris wanted was a chess record. I think I already showed one, but that Muddy Waters. But the next one I found for chess is this Chester Burnett, a.k.a. Howlin' Wolf compilation. Double LP compilation on chess. I think it's got that blue chess label. Yeah. Classic light blue chess label. This has his classics on it like Smokestack Lightning, No Place to Go, Moaning at Midnight, Spoonful, Red Rooster, I Asked for Water, How Many More Years, that Led Zeppelin took from him on How Many More Times, Louise, Killing Floor, Evil Going On, Sitting on Top of the World, Tail Dragger, Wang Dang Doodle, Built for Comfort, Baby How Long, and 300 Pounds of Joy. That's my, what did I use this for? Oh yeah, my chess. It's a double LP also, but this is my chess representative. There he is on the back. Big old smile. Howlin' Wolf compilation. Okay, next one, a Delmark record. For Delmark, I went with, I think Chris went with this artist too, different album, but Magic Sam Blues Band, West Side Soul, 1968. This is a reissue, but it sounds great. And it's got that good classic white and blue Delmark label. If you don't know Magic Sam, you got to check him out. I mean, what a voice and what a guitar player. I Feel So Good. I'm just going to read the standout tracks. Feel So Good, I Want a Boogie. That is a great song. All of Your Love. Sweet Home Chicago. Every Night and Every Day. My Love Will Never Die. That is a great song. Mama, Talk to Your Daughter. Yeah, that's my Delmark. Magic Sam Blues Band, West Side Soul, 1968. All right, now Alligator label. For Alligator, I'm going with Albert Collins and his 1980 album, Frostbite. Let me show that cool old Alligator label. Here it is. Albert Collins, Frostbite. This has If You Love Me Like You Say, Blue Monday Hangover, I Got a Problem, Highway Is Like a Woman, Brick, Don't go reaching across my plate. Give me my blues and Snowed In. That's a 9-minute jam at the end. But there it is, Albert Collins, Frostbite on Alligator Records. All right, the 12th thing Chris wanted was a small indie label. I couldn't decide on this one, so I've got two. They're similar. First one, since I'm from Atlanta, Georgia area, I went with this one on the small label of JEMF. This is Atlanta Blues, 1933. And it's got a collection of previously unissued recordings by Blind Willie McTell, Curly Weaver, Buddy Moss. Yeah, it's not any of their big songs, but it's got 16 songs by those artists. There they are on the back. And what's interesting, I actually live near the county or counties where these guys, their old stomping grounds. Blind Willie McTell, he was more Atlanta. He was born way east of Atlanta, but he played mainly in Atlanta. But Curly Weaver and Buddy Moss were like from around where I live in Newton County. I think one of them's buried out there. But yeah, this is a good comp on a small label, JEMF. Atlanta Blues, 1933. And the other one I went with on a small indie label is this one. This is on a record label called Bindlestiff Records out of Atlanta. And it's a Georgia Blues compilation. It covers 1927 to 1933. And it's got the Georgia Cotton Pickers, Henry Williams and Eddie Anthony, Barbecue Bob, who was from right around where I live, Walton County, DeKalb County, Rockdale County. It's got Curly Weaver also, Pegleg Howell, Fred McMullen, Buddy Moss, and the Georgia Cotton Pickers again. This has some great songs on it. Like I said, it's on a little no-name label, Bindlestiff Records. I think this is the only record that was ever released on that label. But Georgia Crawl, that's a great song by Henry Williams and Eddie Anthony. Mississippi Heavy Water Blues by Barbecue Bob. Sweet Petunia by Curly Weaver. DeKalb Chain Gang by Fred McMullen. Going Up the Country by Barbecue Bob. She's Coming Back Someday. That's the last song by the Georgia Cotton Pickers. That's a beautiful old blues song. But that's my other small label. And Going Up the Country, Georgia Blues, 1927 to 33. Okay, regional style LP. I love this one. I got this a few years ago off the internet. I'd been looking for it for a while because it's got several songs, old country blues songs I love. But it's Mississippi Moaners. It's a compilation of old country blues, Delta blues songs from 1927 to 1942. You got Mississippi John Hurt, Washington White, Matty Delaney, Rube Lacey, Skip James doing Cherry Ball Blues, Charlie Patton doing Devil Sent the Rain Blues from 1929, Son House Special Rider Blues, Bobby Grant doing Lonesome Atlanta Blues. I love that one, 1927. I think he was from Mississippi, but he sang the song about Atlanta. Joe Callicott, May Glover, Papa Harvey Hull, the Mississippi Moaner doing Mississippi Moan. That's a classic, obscure classic. And then Blind Willie Reynolds, Married Man Blues, 1930. Yeah, that's my regional style LP. And that one's on Yazoo. I gotta show that beautiful old Yazoo label. There it is. I'm not sure when this one was pressed. Let me see. Yeah, it doesn't have the information. Probably the 70s. There you go. Okay, Psych Blues LP. I had a little trouble deciding on this one, but I decided to go with a Jimmy Hendrix compilation. I have Jimmy Hendrix Blues. As you can see, there's the silhouette of Jimmy with all his blues heroes and influences. This is a wonderful album. The back's got even more. I'm going to open it up and show it. It's got everybody from Robert Johnson to Mississippi John Hurt, Albert Collins, John Lee Hooker. There they are. There's Jimmy. But yeah, Jimmy, I mean, you talk about psych blues. I don't think it gets much better than Jimmy. I mean, he could do it. It's got an acoustic version of Hear My Train A-Comin'. And he covers Cream's Born Under a Bad Sign, or plays it in the style of Cream. Catfish Blues. I can't read both sides of this record, but there's also an awesome electric version of Hear My Train A-Comin' on this. Red House, Voodoo Child Blues, Manish Boy. Just some alternate versions and some unreleased songs that weren't on his studio albums. That's what I went for Psych Blues. Jimmy Blues compilation. Okay, British Blues LP. This was the first band I thought of, so I went and got this Fleetwood Mac compilation of their two blues rock albums, the original Fleetwood Mac and English Rose. I think they were original Fleetwood Mac is recordings from '68 and English Rose is from 1969. But man, could they play, these British boys play the blues. Peter Green and company. But this has Drifting, Leaving Town Blues. What's some other good songs? Worried Dream, First Train Home, Stop Messing Around, Dr. Brown. The original version of Black Magic Woman, which is a little bluesier than Santana. I've Lost My Baby, Without You is a good one, Coming Home, and Albatross. There they are, Peter Green, Danny Kerwin, Jeremy Spencer, and John McVie. British Blues, Fleetwood Mac. Oh, this is also a UK pressing of this album. I think it was pressed in 1976. Like I said, the recordings are from 68, 69. All right, a King of the Blues. He wanted us to pick one of the Kings or somebody with a nickname of King. But I went with Freddie King. And what year is this album? 1974. Burglar from 1974 on RSO Records. Yeah, I love Albert King, B.B. King, Freddie King, but I went with Freddie King, Burglar. There he is. What a musician. What a guitar player. That's my King. All right, Color Blues LP. Okay, for this one, I went with my reissue of Lightning Hopkins' California Mudslide and Earthquake. This was his album he recorded out in California in 1969. And this is a reissue on Modern Harmonic. I think the original had a different cover. But it is on kind of a muddy brown, semi-transparent vinyl. Guess you can see that there. That really matches the cover and the theme of the album good. Lightning Hopkins, California Mudslide and Earthquake. Colored vinyl. All right, a recommendation that you got from somebody. That's number 18. For this, I went with Mercy D Walton, his album Mercy D. My brother Luke, a couple of years ago, came across one of his albums at a record store, and I don't think I'd ever heard of him. I might have heard one song, the original version of One Room Country Shack. Possibly heard that, but his name didn't ring a bell, and Luke really loved it. My brother Luke, who's got a YouTube channel, Luke's Grooves, but he recommended it, and I went out, I think, to a record store a couple of weeks later and found this. I really love his style of piano playing and his voice. He's got a good, rich baritone voice. But on this one, he sings Mercy's Troubles, let's see, Jack Engine, Red Light, Walk Down So Many Turn Rows, Troublesome Mind, Betty Jean, Call the Asylum, and Mercy's Party. But this is on R. Hooley Records. Not sure when this was recorded. There's no date on this one either. Let's see. Yeah, there is. 1961. I think it was recorded in Berkeley, California in 1961. And that's Mercy D Walton. All right, next one's a blues find or discovery. I found this a few years ago. I'm really I love Bob Dylan, and I love hearing people cover his tunes. And I think on the YouTube one day I came across a cover by this man of Maggie's Farm by Sam Lay. And his name rang a bell, but I wasn't sure who he was. That he's an old blues drummer that, was around on the blues circuit in the 50s and 60s. And he was also the original drummer for the Butterfield Blues Band. But he can also sing in his own right. And he does a great version of Maggie's Farm on here. And some other songs, Mean Mistreater, Sam Lay and Mississippi John, Crying for My Baby, Sloppy Drunk, My Fault, Roll Over Beethoven, Asked Her for Water, and I Got My Mojo Working. But that's Sam Lay and Bluesland from 1969. That was a fairly recent discovery for me. Surprise discovery for a blues album. Check it out if you've never heard it. And this one's, I think it's on Blue Thumb Records. Yeah. Blue Thumb. You don't see any or if many blues albums at all on that label. Okay. The last thing, number 20, the first blues LP you remember getting. I got this album. My parents had my dad had a few blues albums that I kind of acquired and called my own, but the first one that I went out and purchased on my own was this one in 1991 on CD. And now I have it on vinyl, an OG on vinyl. That's Stevie Ray Vaughan's The Sky's Crying. I know Chris said the first one he went out and bought was I think it was Soul to Soul, Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's a few years older than this, and Chris is a couple of years older than me. But this is the one that I grabbed, the posthumous release by Stevie Ray Vaughan, Sky's Crying. It's just, you don't get much better than this. I got it 1991. All right, I really enjoy this tag. I love blues music, and I love Chris's channel. So if y'all get a chance, jump into this tag, Blues Vinyl Tag 2021, and I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.